Hello, everyone. This is Yonks with REtoken, the real estate DAO, and this is now our 5th working group on how to write a white paper. And what we're functionally doing is writing what we agreed to is the REtoken Lite Paper. And I'm joined here. I don't think that everybody can see the Zoom window, but I'm just going to circle through real quick and just name everybody that's hanging out with us. We've got a lot to go through because we're really wanting to put a bow tie on this. We've got a lot of other stuff going on at REtoken, but we're not here to talk about that tonight. We're here to focus on work and getting some forward momentum and completion on our own Lite Paper. So again, we've got Crush, Brian, Tyler, Poopster, Zoom user, which is Amy. We've got Julie and DSign. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for hanging out tonight. And that was the video. We've got a POAP tonight. We love our POAPs here at REtoken. And thank you, Amy, and thank you, Dax, for getting everything set up and keeping that moving forward. So on the agenda here, we've got a Google Doc that we've been working off of, and let me see. I thought I had a link to that here. I will pull that up. But one of the things that I wanted to hop right in, we had some takeaway items for filling in, and we had a bounty on that. So let's actually go through, and I'm going to start over here. And one of the things that we agreed on in a previous working group, and I'm going to make this full screen and zoom in so that everybody can see that a little bigger on the live stream here. So one of the things too that I want to mention before we get into the meat of this working group here is that we love rewarding people that are hanging out on whatever live stream channel, whether that's YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, or LinkedIn. Give us a comment here. We've got a chat, and that's one of the things going to kind of monitor a little bit. And one thing too that we didn't identify here during our prior to go live, and this is something if somebody wants to volunteer to kind of keep a timestamp of this working group, and the goal of the timestamp keeper is ideally we would like to update and put some markers on the replay timelines so that our like YouTube video, for example, the replay experience is enhanced for whomever may be watching that. So does anybody want to volunteer real quick before we continue down the conversation? And we're And I will try to do that here on the live stream. And I'm going to just put a shout out. So we'll utilize this as a timestamp.
I think Julie said she can try. Julie
awesome.
Said,
okay. Well, we will work together here. And if I see you typing, Julie, then it's all you. And that's one of the cool things that I love about Discord. And this is an ongoing work in progress. So one of the goals of our live stream is we recognize that this working group that we're hosting is also a piece of content. And I saw that Teresa just joined. Welcome, Teresa. We are literally just getting started, went live, and we're going to hop right in and going to go through. This is our Getbook page where we host at docs.retoken.info, and this is where we agreed to host our Lite Paper. And that was, I'll actually show that real quick because that was over here in the white paper where we agreed, and we had a poll in this channel. I think it was actually this one that we're moving to. So one of the things, there's going to be a lot of changes here in REtoken this month. And one of those is Discord. We're also committed to having a community experience where you can access the community and be involved without necessarily having to be on Discord. And that's one of the things that we're doing. There's a new Discord role called Mighty Launch Team, and some of those conversations have already ensued. DM myself or Mrs. Yonks if you want to be involved in helping with the Mighty networks, because what we have to do here in the next week is make a decision if we're going to continue down that road. And I know that Ernest put another platform for us to explore. I'll take a look at that. So anyway, where I was going with this is I was wanting to show the poll that we had quite a while ago. So right here, and it looks like 11 people voted in that poll, and most of them said go the direction of the Lite Paper. So that's what we're doing here. We've got the Lite Paper 2 sections, and this is one of the things that going to potentially put forward here. Still working on getting caught up on some other things, this equitable, affordable housing. But we're here tonight to this one right here. We biddle passive income with real estate for everyone. And this is one of the things that I think that we should really incorporate in the description throughout, and don't want to go off on that tangent right now. What I do want to show, and this is one of the action items that we had from our previous working group to this one. And Blackfire is the one, and this is one of the contributions that I made here on this. This little section is, I think that something would work, because one of the things that we agreed on, and I believe it was during our previous working group number 4, where we wanted to really divide this tagline into 5 different sections. So we did that, and it's we biddle passive income with real estate for everyone. So the change that Blackfire put in place, and I can't remember what the change number is, I'll show the one that Brian did, who's on the Zoom here tonight. And I think the one that he worked on was with real estate. Is that correct, Brian?
Yes, that's correct.
Awesome. So I will kick that over. We've got and I can't remember, was it, do you have notes there, Tyler, as far as who was doing the biddle page?
I do. Let me grab that real fast.
That was me.
Okay.
Fresh.
Awesome. So let's take a look here at the section of and this is one of the things that I wanted to kind of show a little bit, because sometimes it's easier. I'm a very hands-on and experiential type of learner myself. One of the things that I wanted to mention, and this is a slight tangent, so prefacing that with that, is this thread that this poll that I just showed you is in what was previously this working groups category. And I moved this entire category, and that's the community call, content, tokenomics, and hackathons. And the plan on that is to keep things, kind of simplify things. And that was actually based upon some recommendations that Blur's Day had in here, as far as like, where was it? Can this channel be merged with chat content team? And then I think he had a comment and a couple of that. So that was just kind of following his recommendation as far as condensing and making Discord a easier experience. And that's one of the things that we want to simplify. And that's actually something on that to put forward. And this is another thing that wanted to kind of break out to bring some additional attention to this, is move this whole voting proposals category over to a DAO Gov. And it's literally the only channel, and the threads. And this is kind of one of the things that you can see how deeply leaning into this we biddle. And I really think that that's a solid culture that we can cultivate here. And that's something too that I think will really resonate with the proposal that DSign just put forward here the other day on Snapshot. So thank you again for that proposal as far as bringing a little flair from a developer front to the conversation as well. But to get back on track here with this, I'm going to put in this link right here. And this is something that I've kind of been playing around a little bit with as far as the slugs. That's kind of the URL, and you can see this into this is we've got a very clean. And the idea here from just a SEO standpoint is that we want a URL that will never change. Like right now, this content sits on Gitbook. Now, the value of having a URL that never changes is by following that, and then like from a backlink type of a strategy or wherever the links are, you'd never want to have broken links. So like by having a content strategy, anyway, that's not related. I want to post this in here on this event here. And this is what wanting to show, because like right now, I think that there's actually something broken. And what I'm saying by something broken, see where it says definition of, and it just kind of like goes nowhere. And I don't know if that's because there's like this quote here and it just throws something for a wrench. And this is just me, because like on the other page that I know that we've got some content on, and this is the one that DSign did, is let me paste this one in here real quick. So this is kind of going off onto a tangent a little bit, but where I was going with this, and this is one of the enhancements that I made to this page, was with the description. And I think really like just being consistent, because if people, repetition is the mother of all learning. So the more that we are consistent in saying this throughout our messaging, the more that will resonate with people. So anyway, going back to the We page, so I don't know if has anybody else looked at the content on this page besides myself, since Blackfire put this up and I put the change into production.
Yeah, I have.
So what was your thoughts on this?
I think it's good. It's maybe a little formal. I don't know how formal we want to go though. So.
Well, I mean, that's why we're having the conversation, because you know, this is the message. This is an opportunity for us to kind of convey what we want to communicate. So like, do we want to be more formal, or one of the things that I've been hearing is to keep our messaging very simple.
I agree with that second part. Keeping things simple is probably the best thing to do.
And my thoughts are on this word here is, and I know that this word abstract is used pretty or quite a lot, especially in the context of a white paper. And my thoughts every time that I hear this is it's more of like geared for academia, and a lot of these white papers are overly academic in my opinion. But I was wanting to hear some of the feedback, and I think that this is actually this section that I added, and I didn't put any details in here because I was kind of wanting to hear what some other people's thoughts on this. But one of the value propositions, in my opinion, as far as the way that we're creating this DAO, is that as a DAO, we are truly community owned and operated. We aren't investor or VC backed. We don't give people the opportunity through some liquidity mechanism of buying our tokens. So the only way, and that's one of the things that I think we should try to communicate within this page. That being said, I don't want to delve more onto this because Blackfire was the main person that spoke to this. And on that note, let's actually put a timestamp on this, and let's take a look and go to Biddle next. And you said that was a page that you had made, Crush? Are you there, Crush?
Yeah, sorry, I was talking on mute. Yeah, so I have notes on my laptop, but I didn't make a change request yet. Do you want me to go ahead and do that?
Yeah, you might as
now?
well.
Okay.
And then we could go ahead, and so here's the one, and this is let me walk through this while you're doing that. So the way, just for people that haven't seen the Gitbook, and this is Gitbook is the platform that we are utilizing to facilitate our docs repository. So this is where it goes into production on docs.retoken.info. And right now, when people are contributing to the content, that's facilitated on app.gitbook.com through our organization page. And it creates this interesting workflow. And this is the first time that I've used Gitbook myself. I think it creates a very beautiful user experience from a documentation standpoint, and looking forward to creating content in this platform for various things. So this is the change request that Brian submitted, and great job on your little edit comment there. First draft of real estate section. And that is the real estate section on the Lite Paper. So did you submit that, or are you still working on that, Crush?
I'm about to submit it. I only did bullet points because I'm not like the greatest writer, so I thought we could.
And that's absolutely. I wasn't expecting us to have a finished product here after today. And like one of the things here, looking, and this is a little bit of a tangent. It's December the 7th, and I was hoping that we could put a deadline on this, like one of the dates that I've talked about, and I haven't looked at a calendar. I'm going to bring that open right now. I should just do it on the let me do that on the REtoken calendar, and that's one of the things that we use for showing our community events. And this is for this week 49. And one of the things that I've spoken about was December 15th, which is on Wednesday. That's when we normally host our community call. And I think that would work pretty good. Is that something that we want to make a decision to, and as far as finalizing this Lite Paper?
Yeah, I'll second that. Yep, agreed over here.
All right, well, let's do that, and then that would be a great way we could utilize the community call as far as making an announcement during the community call that the Lite Paper is finalized, and we'll have some more conversation here later on that. So getting back to the change request, first draft, Biddle, there we go. So the way that I understand the workflow is that we can click on this, and I don't know if it, you didn't make any changes outside of your page, right, Brian?
No, I did not.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and fire up the one here. And you just did the one on your page, right, Crush?
Right.
Awesome. Well, here's the way that that works. I just load that up and see this little merge button down here in the corner. And this is like looking at the diff view, this little button here. This is an easy way that we can kind of see what's been changed and see how it's orange here. Let me make this a little bit bigger. And then we can go over here and this is all the stuff. There was nothing here. Now there's stuff. So let's go ahead and merge this. And one of the things here too, this number 51, that's functionally the change request number. And I'll show everybody what that looks like on GitHub here in just a second. But let's go ahead and merge that. Change request successfully merged. So when we go over here to the Biddle page and then we click on our little refresh guy, we have content in there, voila. So do you want to walk us through these bullet points here, Crush?
Sure. So at first I just kind of did the, background for the word itself, because some people might be confused. So I have its intentional misspelling of the word build in the same fashion as HODL. It's a call to action to build and contribute to blockchain and crypto projects instead of just holding assets. And you contribute in order to help adoption and growing / improving the ecosystem. And then I listed some of the things that REtoken is doing to help people build, which would be the Token Town, the virtual summit, and the fractionalized real estate certification program.
I love it. I think that that's a fabulous start. And I don't know if I necessarily have anything to add. I don't know if there's some good opportunity to provide some references to like YouTube videos. I thought that the page that we've referenced before on Binance was pretty good. And I don't know how much that we want to provide some third-party references on a page like this. And I don't know if I saw that there was an annotation. Did you want to chime in here, Double D? Sorry, I wasn't able to hear very well. So one of the things too, and I want to go off on a slight tangent as far as how important that I think that this Biddle hashtag is. It's got a lot of momentum and it's got a lot of history within the Ethereum culture and community. And one of the opportunities that we have that we've spoken a little bit about is Ethereum Denver that's coming up in February. That's something that Mrs. Yonks and myself will be attending. I think that there's other people that will be going to that. And the PFP NFT, the Bufficorn Biddle Brigade, that's actually the first PFP NFT that I've acquired. Mrs. Yonks got one as well. So gonna be fun, have a lot of fun surrounding that. And that's one of the things I really think, and you're starting to see that a little bit more. And like, here's some of the voting proposals. I've been pretty busy and I'm gonna maximize this here. And I'm gonna go to the threads. So these are several threads where really leaned into this. And I think that that's something that we could potentially do, just where we have like maybe a subsection on here, or maybe even update this with like proposals. Like this is one, we Biddle DAOplomacy, REtoken DAO's commitment to Web3. we biddle a REtoken relaunch. We biddle with Coordinate. We biddle with a KISS philosophy. And this was something that we were talking about earlier. I'm a huge fan of the KISS acronym. Keep it super simple. So looking forward to hearing what you all chime in on this as far as some of these we biddle proposals. And these are just very conversational. This is like all of December. I think that this is a good opportunity to categorize and really look at this as a REtoken relaunch month as we're launching some new teams here. And one of the things, to be very transparent, I'm actually advocating that somebody else on the core team, as it has been identified currently, step up and raise their hand to be a team captain. And we'll be having more conversation on the community call tomorrow, and then again on the core team call as far as the team captain. And that's very much of a tangent. And to get back on track for the white paper conversation, that was just kind of like leaning heavily into this we biddle philosophy. And I think the more that we really do that, and I be known as far as a building community here where we're fostering that, and already mentioned once Design's proposal to incentivize more a development environment. So I'm going to stop talking and let some other people chime in some thoughts here on the biddle page of the Lite Paper that we're working towards together.
As far as the middle section, I concur. I think it's very comprehensive and, like you said, keeps it simple as far as the primary goals of REtoken DAO. So I think it's good. Good start.
I'm not sure if we mentioned this last week, but we are giving 50 REtoken extra to each person that built a page. So we really appreciate you guys doing that. And we're going to put that in the next airdrop.
I would turn my camera on for a happy dance, but I don't want you guys to go blind from seeing that.
We will also accept Giphies of dancing.
Quality substitute.
We need a POAP with that GIF on it.
Is that a real thing, Design?
Yeah, I think so. I think you can put a static image or GIF on a POAP.
Amy,
Yeah,
we got to level
can,
up our POAP game. Okay, I'm done now. Back to business.
They can definitely be animated.
I think Design can make one for us and I'll distribute it. Hey.
That's what you did there, Amy. Nice.
But yeah, there's definitely opportunity here, especially as we're getting some team identities with having some new teams being formed in this December, the REtoken relaunch month. So, and I don't know what your thoughts are as far as potentially having some links. I don't know if that's distracting. I mean, the negative aspect of having an offsite link is the opportunity for somebody to go down a rabbit hole that's not on your site. So that's one of the negative aspects as far as having like reference to offsite.
Hey Jason, can we put it in footnotes instead of in direct links, or is that weird?
I haven't.
Is this thing set up for footnotes?
I mean, it's a pretty simple interface. I mean, you've been in and looked at it a little bit as far as the capabilities. So I don't know if it's just got necessarily a footnote function, and and I don't know if that's something that we want to do. It's but wanted to keep the momentum going here. Did anybody else want to chime in on the biddle, or should we keep on going to the next page here? Oh, let me real quick digress and show everybody real quick since I mentioned it earlier. So this is our organization page on GitHub. And the reason that I want to bring this forward for consideration, and I don't know if it's necessarily relevant today, but the opportunity for us to potentially utilize a tool like SourceCred, and I don't know how much that we really want to get in, and that's something that we've talked about as far as a DAO tool. In the past, it's something that we've put on the shelf. But anyway, where I was going with that, this is again our organization page, REtoken, the real estate DAO on GitHub, and this is the Gitbook sync integration repo. So what happens when, like, you saw me just make that merge request, and that was change 51 right here, Gitbook first draft of Biddle. So what it does, and you can see over here on the contributors that it doesn't list Crush as a contributor. So that's one of the negative implications of using the GitHub front or the Gitbook front end, because right now we make the change in Gitbook and then it pushes it to GitHub. Now we can flip that and reverse it if we wanted to be more forward. And I'm gonna put this thought on the conversation. I'm just bringing that forward here, and this does have the really cool change history as far as what that goes, and makes a really nice like Gitbook number 51, and then the little description that Crush provided whenever she submitted her changes. So does that make sense? All right, passive income. Over to you, DSign, to walk us through the passive income page here.
Can you scroll down just a little bit? So I thought with the passive income section, it was really pretty simple. It's just, what do we consider passive income? Because, you know, some people like hear the phrase passive income and either there's like two things that happen, get a little sketched out sometimes. And then some people also like don't really know what passive means. Like I described right here, like minimal to no effort. Some people, I don't know, they just have a different view. So just clear that up. And then also point out how REtoken would generate passive income for somebody below that.
One thought that I am thinking that may be beneficial is, I think that there's really two audiences that would really like to see us create passive income for. One of which is the investors that buy the security tokens, and we are planning on going through the process through regulation crowdfunding of creating security tokens, registered digital assets. So the people that acquire the security tokens, one of the income opportunity, the passive income opportunity, is through the income that the token provides through, like, you know, whether it's called dividends or rent or superfluid streams or residency, or like I learned one of the things when I was at the National Association of Housing Cooperatives in St. Pete, out of Tampa Bay here last month, is like in the co-op world, they call it carrying charges. I'd never heard that term before. So whatever that stream of passive income, the other opportunity that I believe that we have to create is through the passive income of the smart contract for whoever does the deal tokenization. Now, I don't know what that's going to look like from a legality or securities regulation standpoint either. But those are kind of the two passive income opportunities that I think would be beneficial for us to break out in a very clear manner, because I really believe that the opportunity to create that passive income situation for the deal maker in that lens is one of the biggest opportunities for the proliferation of real estate tokenization.
So Jason, as far as that type of content, when you're describing the, I guess, end user, I'm kind of thinking of, wouldn't that information belong in the everyone section, or do you think it's a better fit for passive income?
I think that the because when we're talking about the passive income, that's the two passive income situations that would be created. The passive income stream from the business that's tokenized, and when I say the business that's tokenized, that's through the context that you don't really tokenize a piece of property, because property has to be owned by either a natural person or a legal business entity. And most of the time that's commonly referred to as an SPV, which is a special purpose vehicle, or sometimes a special purpose entity. So that's what gets tokenized, is the legal entity. So the benefits of owning the security tokens is one. And then the other passive income stream is that whenever the security tokens get exchanged, and like that'll be one of the income streams for REtoken, is that we, for facilitating the platform, will receive one of those that'll be one of REtoken's passive income streams. Now, I don't know if we want to necessarily talk about that in this situation as well, but the more that we can really like break down who that the passive income will be for, because I think that the big value proposition is making that clear, because like right now, the people that are largely transacting real estate, like real estate agents or brokers, they don't have any residual component. They get compensated on their real estate transaction, they get done, and then they move on to the next real estate transaction deal. So this is a fundamental shift from that transactional element as a tokenized deal maker, or whatever label that, categorically, and who knows, at some point in time, there may be some regulation that is required. Like one of the securities licenses that I'm planning on personally obtaining is the Series 65. I don't want to go off on that tangent right now. I've had securities licenses in the past and planning on getting personally my Series 65. So that's kind of, does that provide some better answer or clarification on the thoughts on that, Brian?
Somewhat. So if I understand what you're saying, clarifying, I guess, what the impact of the passive income will be for the investors in this section would be good. Excuse my son in the background. He decided he wants to sing.
Well, and that's when, like, the passive income situation for the tokenization deal maker, that's not an investor. That's categorically a different person. So like passive income for the everyone investor, and then passive income for the tokenization deal maker.
Got it. Makes sense.
And
So-
I think breaking that, like just doing like a header two and moving that around. And I don't know if we necessarily need to go deeper into the weeds on that right now, but I would love to hear some thoughts from other people. I think that is because a lot of people, and why, let me answer why is that important, because like one of the opportunities that we have is for attracting people, because there's probably people that are identify as real estate professionals that maybe don't identify as real estate investors. And then there's maybe people that are wannabe real estate professionals and are blockchain enthusiasts, and they could see this as maybe a better way to become a next gen real estate professional, because that's my expectation. What a real estate professional looks like today, fast forward 10 or 20 years, is going to look very different in 10 or 20 years. So like really like gearing the content through the lens of whomever will be consuming it, and answering that, how do I benefit? What's in it for me?
So are you saying, you were mentioning earlier, just holding these security tokens when there's like, when they're traded, some of that will get kicked back to the DAO for management? Are you meaning like there will be a hook on each transaction to automatically just send a percentage off of that back
Correct.
to?
Yeah, there'll be a slice into that for a and I can't remember what it's called, but it's functionally a transaction fee, and that's something that's pretty commonly programmed into the smart token contracts for that. And it's too early to have those conversations, because like we haven't had any conversations with the the registered broker dealer that's the crowdfunding platform, or the registered transfer agent. So we have to have some type of technology solution that is compatible for people that have those securities registrations with the SEC or FINRA. And I don't even know what that looks like, because that's not something that personally explored with that. One other thing too, and this is something that I thought might add some ease of navigation, is like here we've kind of got and keep in mind, the idea on this is that we don't necessarily know how somebody's going to be coming into this content, because this is functionally a single page here. And if somebody landed on this page right now, like there's not really any ease of navigation. And what I was thinking of in this section right here, this middle one, is also including this right here, which kind of provides a little bit of navigation from a click type of standpoint. So what I would encourage everybody to kind of do, and this is one of the things that I think that we have the opportunity of, because right now I don't know how that people are consuming this content. I don't know if people are. So like, you know, the opportunity for us to potentially get Google Analytics in place, and the opportunity of seeing whether people are coming in on a desktop or a mobile experience. Because obviously this page looks very different on my 1080p monitor than it does on my iPhone screen in my hand. So that's one of the things that I would also encourage everybody to kind of do, if you haven't yet, is navigate this experience in a different manner than you've been navigating it. So if you've been primarily doing it on your laptop, switch it up and take a look at it mobile, or vice versa. So that's something, again, I think that putting this section and just kind of having that look and feel across these 5 pages will increase the overall navigation and just make it easier for people to navigate our content. But again, I'm kind of wanting to hear some other people's thoughts on that before we proceed with doing that. Did anybody else want to chime in on the passive income page before we proceed to the with real estate? Well, I will take the silence as a no, and here we go with real estate currently blank. Let's go ahead and get that change that Brian put forward, and switching again over here to the app.getbook page. And the way that the workflow works again, if there's somebody that is currently participating here tonight that wants to be an active content contributor to Getbook, and one of the things that I will proactively do, thank you everybody that has participated in this exercise. We had the content team kickoff conversation last night, and that the content team is just getting formed. That's another opportunity to participate in an additional Coordinate circle here. Coordinate is a tool that we're just putting in place as far as a rewards distribution tool. So anyway, getting back to that, so up here we've got this little change requests. So the people that facilitate the change requests are administrators. And let me go off on that tangent right here real quick and see who we've got. Actually, I'm not going to do that because I think it's got emails back there. So let's just get the change pushed forward over here. Get out of the settings. Okay, so again, the change request workflow is up here, and this is change number 49 that Brian did. And let's look at the diff view over here. And with real estate. So there was nothing and now there is stuff. So let's merge this into production. And it's still got the little syncing. We'll wait for this guy to be done before we bounce over to the other page. The latest export succeeded. So
Jason?
yes.
This is Teresa.
Hey, Teresa.
Before you get too far off in this, hi. I just wanted to be clear on the usage of the word passive. What was the reasoning on the decision and moving forward with that? In regards to, I know I expressed my concerns, and I heard another member express their concern with the usage of the term passive income. Can you help me with how that challenge was overcome, what the reasoning was?
Nobody provided a better word or term of words to use. Do you have a recommendation for us that we could kind of marinate here for the next week?
I can think about that, and I'll post in the Discord.
That would be great. Thank you for that, Teresa. So the other reason too, and this is something that I sent out via the Twitter, was because the data, that's something that is often utilized as far as a trending hashtag. It's something that people often search for. It's something that people want. So they actively pursue passive income because we are very evolved human beings where we want to do as little as possible and get paid as much as possible. So they want they want to, like get yield on their money that they've acquired, and like investing, the opportunity to accumulate wealth. And that's, again, the biggest opportunity that real estate tokenization provides. Is one of the statistics that I heard is that only 8% of people globally currently are real estate investors. So the opportunity of decreasing the barrier of entry through real estate tokenization is, and that's one of the things that we're getting ready to. We're on 4 of 5 of the Lite Paper here, and this is this is real estate with real estate. So let's see what we've got here, and I will kick it over to you, Brian, where you can walk us through this here this evening.
Yep. So just 3 quick sections. Keep it high level. What is real estate? Just a standard definition of real estate. Land and its fixtures. Why invest in real estate? Start to talk about the benefits of real estate and how it can be profitable. Basically, a threefold approach. equity approach, income approach, and then benefits from a perspective of taxation at a very high level. And then finally, the approach for REtoken, looking at residential real estate, start to describe some of the types of it: detached, semi-detached, row homes, multi-unit housing, and basically how there's going to be broad ownership interests for token holders, and basically using that as a vehicle to invest in real estate. So try to keep it high level. It is written in a formal style, so feel free to, critique that as far as making it more relaxed. But just wanted to provide a general high level overview of real estate.
One thought that I had on this is this may be a good opportunity for us to inject our intentionality as far as really working and striving to create win-win-win situations. And one of the things that I think differentiates us from a culture standpoint, and really what we're looking to do here, is that we're not trying to create a platform that allows real estate owners, landlords that have rental properties to proliferate their landlord empire. We're really, because that's one of the things, there's other projects that are tokenizing real estate that are, and my biggest concern was, and I can't remember, and this was on another conversation, my biggest concern with real estate tokenization is that it creates this imbalance with increased cash investment money coming into real estate through tokenization, because basically what tokenization creates is the opportunity of global crowdfunding. And if there's an imbalance of opportunity as far as that creates a win, because I would really like to have a clear understanding with the tenants of these tokenized that are just rental situations, how that tokenization situation really benefits them from just a normal landlord owning it compared to it being tokenized. And that's one of the things that I think that we have the opportunity, and this is something that I'm actually going to advocate that we move forward with a official proposal process. And I might just put that forward here. I really got on this WeBiddle bandwagon, and this is probably a good opportunity to just let that train rip full steam ahead, if you will, and put forward a similar proposal: WeBiddle equitable, affordable housing. And this is something that I did add a little bit of preliminary content to. And I think with this, everything that we're talking about right now, just to make this very clear, because really one of the opportunities that I think that we have with this Lite Paper specifically, and this is just kind of to plant some seeds here to get everybody's thoughts clicking along, is that I really see this Lite Paper or white paper, this WeBiddle equitable, affordable housing, as an opportunity for us to collaborate across the larger Web3 crypto ecosystem to really devise a shared equity appreciation tokenization model that creates this equitable, affordable housing situation that we all know there's a huge need and demand for. So that was kind of a tangent here on that. And where, again, I was going with that is the opportunity to inject here on that page some of our own culture as far as real estate and how that we are trying to be intentional about creating those. And that I don't know if you've seen that, Brian, and I don't know what would be a good way, but that's one of our founding principles that is in our Genesis proposal and all over the place, really.
Jason, the equitable affordable housing sounds good. Would that be as a replacement for passive income, or were you suggesting that be in addition to?
No, one of the things that I've been advocating throughout our working groups is that that would be a separate light paper / white paper that we could spearhead the collaborative effort on. Like one of the sister DAOs, and this goes under the impact investing Figma that I created, is Our Home Co-op. And that's one that I really think that we could create a co-op housing protocol for. And I think that that could be a great thing that we could tokenize, is the co-op housing. And this never seems to like want to click right. Let me do it anyway. I'm not gonna worry about that. So going back to the real estate page, that was the only thoughts that I had. And again, I don't know exactly what that would look like. I can think more about that, but going through the page here, I'll have to think on that some more. Does that make sense as far as and I don't know if I'm communicating that well or not.
Yeah, so the 3 wins, I got a little confused if that was going to end up in the equitable housing light paper, or if it would be in here, or would it kind of find its way into both places?
I think that anything, I believe in doing triple wins in everything. So I'm intentional about, and this is something that I think if we as humans be more intentional as far as when we're engaging with other people, how can I add value to that person, or what's something that I can say to make that person's day better, or just various things like that. If we all did stuff like that, and that's just kind of the ethos that I operate in, and that's echoed through like Triple Win Foundation, where that Our Home Co-op that talking about with the co-op housing protocol that will sit. So and we'll have one of the conversations that we'll be having more here in December is like the Reg CF and the task force and token summit. But that's a different conversation, just planting that seed right now. But yeah, I think the more that we can sprinkle in the win-win-win, and that's one of the things that I think can differentiate, because if it's not apparent to everybody, and this is something that I have said and will continue to say, and this is something else that we need to figure out from a content standpoint, like what kind of position, because like we can create lots of different content in lots of different manner, and we just need to kind of have a position. And I feel really strongly as far as the and this is something that I mentioned earlier, I don't really believe in competition, especially in how much opportunity that exists with real estate tokenization. I foster a more collaborative approach, and that's one of the things, fostering here with this collaborating on this equitable and affordable housing, and like the architecting of our shared equity appreciation tokenomics, or whatever we end up calling those types of tokenomics around that. But I think that's really, again, because there's going to be I can provide an increasingly list of examples. I sent out a 8 or 9 Twitter thread for Citadel, which is a investor-backed startup that's getting ready to do their introducing real estate on chain, their IRO, which is I believe it's a $20 million property, and I don't even know what the specifics are. That's more on the CRE, the commercial real estate side of the house, and that's one of the things too that we're definitely taking a more towards, and I don't even know if residential, because I don't necessarily want to be too limiting, and I don't know if it really matters in this first iteration of this light paper. And the thing too is that like this is one of the things that I've said and that will continue to say. Nothing is set in stone. Now, when you start tokenizing and putting tokens out there and smart contracts, and that's one of the things that we want to be very intentional as far as the way that we're doing that, because my expectation is that if those are properly architected and maintained, that those could last for generations, like this passive income that we were speaking about on the previous page that we're wanting to create through the smart contracts. These smart contracts that we put in place could be, potentially go for, generations. And that's one of the reasons that you don't tokenize a property, you actually tokenize the legal entity. And that's one of the things that real estate tokenization can fundamentally change the way that real estate is transacted. Because imagine like if a house never needed to exchange hands again. And that's one of the things like I was on the Proppy webinar. They've got that crypto certified agent here that I was on last Friday. And that's one of the things that they're working on, a model where they're like creating an NFT and then making that change where you don't have to like changing functionally the transactional model, very different. So that's another conversation. But the last page that we have is for everyone. Does anybody, before we move to the for everyone page, did we want to talk any more about the with real estate page?
That's my page. I got busy with back-to-back meetings closing the deal in Ghana. So anyway, I was trying to figure out how to put my research in, and I just looked at the link. If you can wait till next meeting, or you can use whatever Brandon has, it's fine with me. But there's nothing really much to say about everyone but everyone. So when I was doing my definition research, it's really hard to expound on it. But if you can
Hey,
wait,
Amy,
I'll put
what
things
do you
together.
think about defining everyone in categories? And I mean, I actually love the last thing you said. Everyone means everyone. Realtors and newbie investors and current homeowners and landlords and college students and whatever. Everyone means everyone.
I don't think that we necessarily need to define the for everyone. I think the opportunity here, especially with us shifting more towards at least here where we're at today, a more US centric audience, the big barrier of entry that for real estate right now is the accredited investor aspect. So I think the for everyone, where we can really go in, not to defining everyone, because I don't think we need to define everyone. I think that the opportunity on the for everyone page is to say how that we're creating this opportunity. We biddle passive income with real estate for everyone. So the everyone in that is like, because the exclusion with the accredited investor, and that's something that I can attest to, and Teresa can probably attest to, that the general pulse within the people that are driving the tokenization conversations are just focus on accredited investors. Don't create opportunities for real estate for retail investors. And for those that don't know, the accredited investor barrier of entry here in the US is that you have to be a millionaire, or you have to make over 200,000 a year or over 300,000 a year if you are married. So it's a very high barrier that a lot of people, and do you know percentage wise how many people here in the US are accredited investors, Tyler?
Not offhand. I will tell you, as somebody who used to broker private equity, those people get head up for every deal every time because the pool of people are so limited. And so what ends up happening is all the deals that I was raising with accredited investors, the sponsors always wanted a $25,000 to $100,000 per deal minimum, because we're trying to raise $10 million. you can only raise it with 1% of the population or 0.5% or 0.1%, it disproportionately shifts the risk. So you don't want to find an accredited investor and they say, yeah, I like your deal, throw in, $500. That's kind of a nightmare because you just don't have enough of those people to go around. So having a low barrier to entry with now a huge audience to go with it is really spectacular.
Well, this is Teresa here speaking. President Obama wanted to change that dynamic when he created the regulation crowdfunding. Because I think, he felt that the laws that were intended to protect people just really took a whole part of the population out of being able to participate in investment opportunities based off of income. And so because society has changed, our access to knowledge has changed, and information and transparency, they came up with the crowdfunding regulation. But we also have alternatives outside of going through things being securities that you had posted to earlier that I had brought up. What is that? The NFT. I think exploring that.
Are you talking about the Bacon DAO?
The Bacon DAO, yeah. So if it's not, so the regulations are for securities and things that fall under SEC. Then you have to look at, are you doing Reg A plus, or are you doing Reg CF? If it's Reg D, then it's only accredited investors, and then you have these holding periods for different ones. So different ones have different rules depending on whether you're allowing unaccredited investors in or not, or whether you're going to allow accredited investors in the United States, and then other people outside of the United States. There's extra paperwork you got to file. But if you can skirt all of that with creating it, the money, at the end of the day, the goal is to be able to fund more projects to help our community without hurting people, right? And doing so in a way that is transparent, that is inclusive, that is equitable, and we're not scamming folks, right? So if the goal is to be able to do it legitimately and actually create communities and have the community feel empowered in creating their communities and contributing financially to that process, if the possibility of being able to do so by creating these real estate debt instruments through NFTs, and that not being considered a security, then you don't have to really worry about whether they're accredited or not accredited or whatever the SEC rules are in regards to that. That only apply to things that are considered securities.
The challenge comes to, because it's not, if it's 1-to-1, and that's the challenge, where the securities regulations come into play, because it's normally not one person or one entity that's underwriting a debt instrument or involved. It's a fractionalized situation, and that's my biggest concern when people talk about NFTs in the real estate environment, is that it really I think causes confusion, because an NFT has so many different capabilities technically. So that's my big concern. But to get the conversation back to the For Everyone page of the white paper, that was kind of like the thing that I felt that we should really lean into, is how that our project is going to create the opportunity for everyone to become a passive investor, or obtain passive income with real estate. And then is that regulation crowdfunding is the vehicle that we're really looking for that, at least here in the US. And that's the thing that, and I don't know what the securities regulations look like globally, but it definitely varies on country to country. And I saw Dax joined. Welcome. Good evening, Dax. We've just been going through the 5 sections of the Lite Paper WeBiddle passive income, and we are on the for everyone, but we don't. We've been talking through that here tonight.
Okay, thanks, Jason. Actually, I was not able to connect before. Now I am able to. So I was listening on YouTube. Yeah, this is great. This is fantastic. I like it. Just a one comment that I would like to add is if we can, I don't know if possible, if we can keep it consistent with the formatting in terms of formatting. Either we should just go with the bullet points, or just to go with the paragraph, so that it just flows nicely. Yeah, that's just the only thing I can add at this point. But other than that, this is great. Thank you, everyone. Fantastic. I like it.
Yeah, and thanks for that feedback. And I don't know too if you caught the conversation that I was talking about there, Dax. I agree, and this is one of the things too, not necessarily related to the Lite Paper, but just as far as the experience that we are creating here. And I'm super excited that we've had more people stepping up for leadership roles. Blackfire hosted the functionally the kickoff team meeting for ambassadors. DSign is leading the conversation about the dev team initial kickoff meeting Saturday. I already put forward as far as my desire to see somebody else on the existing core team step up and raise their hand and volunteer to be the team captain. But anyway, the thing that I was looking for some specific feedback on is I think that like if we just copied this and put this just from a navigation standpoint across the pages, and that's something that I'll probably put in place, and then we can kind of see what that looks like. And this is one too. This was a comment that Tyler had. We weren't sure about the clock here. I actually used a different emoji here. I'm open to some ideas. I think that it was Blackfire that actually introduced the emoji idea, and I think that that just adds a little bit more flair, if you will, to a if anybody wants to contribute some thoughts on the emoji. I hear somebody chiming in.
So it's me. So my thing is, I know this is like the official like emoji money thing. I just think that guy looks like he's throwing up. So that is whatever. I don't know if we can use a $sign or a whatever, or like a little guy with hearts in his eyes for passive. I mean, I guess if that's the one we have, that's the one we have. I really hate that icon. So I may be party one on that, and I am open to being overruled if you all love it.
I don't like the throwy uppy guy either.
Well, we can agree that needs to be refreshed. So that's if that's the biggest thing that we need to come to a decision on when we're here next week. But we're
okay.
Here.
I just want to give a shout out to Julie for tagging me in the timestamp that I don't like the passive income emoji. That's amazing. Like that's amazing.
What was it that Blursday used the other day on
that
your
I'm confused,
.xyz?
and that ended up in the timestamp too. I feel like the dumb one on this call, so I'm gonna try and do a little bit better, or I'll just be the designated person in the community that sits in the corner and eats paste all the time. I don't know.
And anybody that's participated in any of our sessions would know that you are definitely not the dumb one sitting in the corner eating paste. We love your contributions, Tyler. So
Julie, don't put on a timestamp that I'm not the one that eats paste. I don't want that on the internet forever, please.
and yes, everybody, we do love to have fun here with the pukey smiley emoji cons and Tyler eating paste in the corner at her confused.xyz domain, whichever one that she has. So we've got a half an hour here left. I kind of wanted to I feel good, and I don't know how that we want to go from here. We've talked about having a deadline of the 15th, which is a Wednesday, which I think would be great. The question is, Do we want to potentially break this into one more working group or maybe 2 1-hour working groups? I'd kind of like to get these scheduled here during this time, and then we can kind of like, after we get some things on the schedule, working towards the deadline of being completely done, where we're releasing to the whole world on December 15th that says, hey, this is our Lite Paper. This is what we worked on. This is what cost 5 gajillion REtoken, or it's not really that much, but we do love rewarding the REtoken for people that are hanging out. So thank you for everybody that contributed here to the input, and loved the collaboration aspect on Gitbook. Again, if you missed it earlier, this is my personal foray into using Gitbook, and the opportunity to potentially reverse, like what I was talking about earlier. One of the other things too, but anyway, so going back to the 1 2-hour or the 2 1-hour, do we want to make a decision on that now, or do we want to take that offline? What do y'all think?
I think, oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead, Poopster.
I think the 2 hours would be okay. I don't know what else that we needed to put together. I don't know. What do other people think?
So I'm personally going to take the real estate section and make some of the edits that we discussed here. I think a 2-hour would be good if we can make live edits in that final 2-hour session to kind of wrap things up.
Yeah, no, I would agree. We have no problem making the, so I've heard a couple people say a 2-hour session. We've been having a good amount of success. That's evidenced by the fact that we've got 11 people hanging out here on this 7 time frame. So do we want to just keep the 7 time frame going a week from tonight?
Good for me.
Sounds good over here.
Final white
Okay.
paper working group. Is that right? Where this is the final one, right? Number 6.
Yeah, because we have to keep in mind the holidays is coming also. So if we can get things done before the holidays, it would be great.
All right. See, that was easy as that. It took us less than 5 minutes to come to a decision on when we're going to meet together. And shockingly enough, that's a lot of the time the hardest part, but this isn't the first rodeo here for us, because this is our 5th working group. So, and that being said, I mean, if we want to start hopping in and making some of those edits, we still have 25 minutes of time budget left. We can do that. I'll defer to somebody else as far as thoughts on how we want to use this last 25 minutes here.
I would love, if you guys have time to hang out, I would love to just get all these things going, because the best version of a 2-hour group is when it turns into a 1-hour group, because we already got everything done. So that's amazing.
Yeah, for me personally, my hands are full. So I'll be probably making my edits probably the next day or 2.
I'm making dinner, so I will make my edits by Wednesday. This is Amy.
So real quick,
Jason,
go ahead,
wanna
Amy.
I do want to share something though. I know we're a DAO and we're in Wyoming, but I just want to share when Teresa mentioned the crowdfunding aspect. We got Filipino groups that I'm in, that what they do is they do a Delaware entity, and then I don't know what else they do, but there's somebody that does the paperwork for them. And these are even corporations in the Philippines like a lot of the Filipino, how do you say this? Developers are creating their own companies and crowdfund it on their own. And there's somebody here in the US that does the patch, and they were able to raise money that way. So I don't know if that is something that we could do uh, in our side, but I just want to share that with you guys, because that might be one way that we can raise money if it's
Well,
allowed. I don't know.
I guess I'm confused what advantage strategically where we have the entity domiciled would provide us as far as raising money goes, because like that's one of the things too that I think is a very different approach with how we're looking to build this, is that we're not looking to raise money, because a lot of the times when people are raising money, what they're functionally doing is selling equity to venture capital, and then they end up a lot of the times with the less than desired control, because they have somebody else to report to, and that's one of the benefits how that we're operating, is that we don't have anybody, that we have a deadline that we're operating to, and then we can fulfill the underlying vision here, where we're not chasing or trying to get a return for investors. So, and you know, we're open for any kind of proposal, and that's one of the things that we're absolutely fostering. I mean, we've got the opportunities we regularly talk about and encourage dynamics for, you know, opportunities for us to pursue funding situations or participate in hackathons that make sense. And like DSign put forward the proposal that fosters a more of a development friendly environment with that, and being just very intentional. And like one of the opportunities that we have is like we've are underway with the Polygon ecosystem grant, and then there's other opportunities like the Gitcoin grant rounds 12 is currently underway. That's something that we really should probably be creating a request on. And that was one of the things that I can't remember if I saw some notification up for I think Crush participated in some of those, and that's one of the things that we can talk about. So that's something that we should definitely always be thinking about until we're at a point where it's like, man, we've got so much money in the treasury. It's more in like, you know, creating amazing content, or creating or refining our amazing real estate tokenization process, or, you know, we've got some things on the roadmap, like launching this virtual summit for real estate tokenization that we're looking to fulfill through Token Summit, and then like developing the fractionalized real estate certificate program, which I believe will also be a revenue stream for us while we're still working on building out some content channels. So it kind of sounds like that we should probably wind down this. And I think with what we've discussed here, because I mean, I can bang through some of the stuff, but I don't know if that would be very conducive for continuing to use everybody's time here tonight. We've only got 20 minutes left, but I would love to hear everybody else's thoughts as far as any final thoughts on the white paper. I did want to also, one of the things that there's been, as people can see, an increasing amount of changes. So don't be afraid to voice some inputs on how that we can make things better as far as improving the overall experience. I've got this onboarding, which will be the first orientation or intro call. And I'll probably try to, or not try, because I don't like that word, but I'm looking for some input on that, but I don't know how much time I'm going to have to really refine that between now and Thursday morning. But one of the things, and this is the biggest new change that because this is functionally the first time that we've created any walled content in REtoken for the REtoken Discord role. And this is working towards improving or actually just documenting and creating a bounty or reward type of a process, because that's one of the things that I think can make it easier for people to contribute. So that's something, and where I was going with this, one of the new roles that created was Diplomat, and I actually created a channel. Where was that? Was that here where I nominated Poopster to be the first one? And I'm kind of envisioning that he kicks that with another nomination and then kind of do a round robin Diplomat, and we see where that ends up. That's kind of what I was thinking with that. Does that make sense?
Oh, I didn't
wait.
see it. Can you tag me?
I didn't. Look, I had it on my copy and paste here in the window.
Yeah, I've never seen that. Okay.
Well, see, this is why it was good that I brought it up, because I still had that open loop in my mind, and I just went to that thing where it was supposed to be, and it wasn't there. So, we biddle diplomacy. So there are currently 0 people with the Diplomat role. See, I had that on my clipboard. In a fun way, I would like to nominate Poopster as REtoken's first Diplomat. He can then in turn nominate the next person.
Well, what if I don't get accepted?
Well, you don't have a choice, man. You are the first Diplomat here, so there's no being accepted.
And don't pull this crap. Like, I don't know what, because
deal.
you've literally been there, done there, and have the T-shirt, because we had breakfast with you wearing the T-shirt, so we know you got the T-shirt. You are the Diplomat.
And this is something too that I was having a side conversation with Grindel about, that appreciates everything that he does, and that I was going to put this forward and would definitely get Grindel his Diplomat tag. And this is just, as you know, Poopster, a fun way, and we want to have more fun here at REtoken. I think that we have a good amount of fun, but we can always have more fun, right?
I think we need to start getting merch also, so we can have a T-shirt with our name on it or something, with our company name on it.
Well, we need to get intentional about creating stuff where we're generating some revenue here for the treasury that the rest of the world is filling of value, and that's where we I think and we're starting to have some good conversations to move in that direction. The token summit, I believe, is the biggest immediate opportunity, and I mean, it's already the 7th of December. February or March. March is the last month of Q1. It's going to roll around quicker than everybody will realize, especially as Amy alluded to. We've got Christmas coming up here, and we know that a lot of people just go in. A lot of people are already in holiday mode, So, but thank you, Poopster, for being the first Diplomat here at REtoken. And the other thing too, and this was where I was going with that, was created this new REtoken category here. And this is a bounty that I created here to just kind of pad in some details on our Gitbook page, like Discord roles. Just like creating some simple definitions, because I think from what I've been hearing, if we had some some place that we could kind of point people as far as what is what, and just kind of put something behind something. And one of the things that is another huge opportunity, and this is again exemplified with the creation of the mighty launch team, because we've only got a week really to make a decision on if that's something that we're going to open up our wallet, the treasury wallet, the REtoken wallet to support, because Mighty Networks is a paid service, and it's something that I think can amplify the ability to grow our community for people that just hate or loathe Discord. I personally don't fall into that category, but I do hear what people are telling me, and Mighty Networks, I think, is a solid platform. And the fact that we're hosting all of our community content on Zoom now, thanks to Restream, and then the this content's going out to multiple platforms, which I think is ultimately benefiting the growth of our community. But that was a digression here. Wanting to close this out, we've got our white paper working group on the REtoken Google Calendar now for next Tuesday, 7 Eastern time. And for those, we've got it here, the event in the REtoken, and then in the events channel, you can find the Google Calendar pinned. And then right here, REtoken Google Calendar. But anyway, final thoughts here as far as on the white paper working group before we call it for a wrap here tonight on working group number 5.
Thanks everybody who got their pages done. That was awesome that we're this close, and really appreciate all you guys.
Thank you, everyone. Nice to see you guys here, and we'll see you all next time.
Have a good one,
Sorry I
y'all.
didn't get my page done.
Bye, everyone. Have a good week.
Yep. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks.
All right, cheers.